Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. What is good? Today we are talking about a topic that's so relevant for any female expert that wants to grow an online business, or actually an expert. It's not a gender necessarily a gender thing here. So if you're watching this live, hashtag live. If you are catching the replay, hashtag replay. I will be monitoring my comments to see who has any questions. So anytime you have questions, just put them into the bio, not bio, in the comments. So the reason why we have to talk about this topic is because I know how you feel right now as a business owner, where you feel like you have to catch up, right? Like everything is moving so fast nowadays with AI. There's always a new tool out there. The bro marketeers are out here with the NHN. Is that how it's called? NHN workflows, automating everything, appointment setting, and everyone's like, I need to implement AI in my business. Because if I don't do it, then my business is outdated, etc. And I love that, we are having this conversation because it just speaks to the importance actually of innovation. And innovation is such an important thing. Get a grip on and have a deeper understanding of actually innovation, how what is the life cycle of innovation, and build the skill so that you can innovate in your offer, in your marketplace, so that you become the leader that you want to be, right? Because we all have an expertise, but there is a level of being an expert, and then the next level is really leadership by just dominating your category. All right. So I'm gonna give an example on this, and we're gonna talk about AI because that's really the thing that's happening. But it doesn't, right? It's just in general. So you have to take this information and interpret it depending on what is relevant for your specific niche. But for all of us online, it's really AI right now. So innovation and hype are two different things. Right? Hype is what's happening with AI right now. It's this overblown expectation, right? It's this excitement that we all are having right now. Let's say it's a trendy AI, because what can AI do for us? Oh, we can write content faster. We can collapse time, right? We can let it think for us in certain instances. So if we mention AI, because everyone is so interested in AI, into our marketing, if we include it into our offers, then people feel like, okay, we are up to date with what is going on in the world, right? We have the latest trends. We're utilizing the latest technology in our business. The issue with this way of thinking, however, is that right now, AI is in a place where everyone is jumping on it. Everyone is seeing it as the solution. Everyone is solving everything with AI, right? Which it's not necessarily the issue. The issue is that the level of thinking is surface level, because the way we need to be approaching problems is not necessarily looking at the solution. It's to go deeper into the problem, deeper into understanding who is the person that has this issue, how is this issue impacting them, right? And based on that, we think about solutions, and based on the solutions, we think about the technology. So the thing with AI, and everyone jumping on AI, is that we aren't building for lasting impact, because the way we are reasoning about solving the problem is not in line with how you think about innovating. So what is innovation, and how should you be thinking about innovating in your business right now? So before I give you that answer, hello. My name is Aisha. I have a master's degree in entrepreneurship. I have also worked in AI product development, where we directly implement these topics that I'm going to talk to you about to continuously improve the product. So I was really involved in the discovery and delivery of products. So they call it a diamond. I'm not going to go into too much technicalities, but really understanding user needs, coming up with solution, developing the technology, delivering, testing, and then just doing this right? That's how we really get to innovation and improvement. So innovation, the term that is used for this, backed by research, is it's the meaningful application of new ideas. So for you selling a service online, it can be of your business model. And I'm going to show you the book here, because a lot of the times, this book, such a good book. A lot of the times when we are talking about innovation, what we are actually innovating on is in the content, we're innovating in the back end, in the delivery, etc. But innovation can happen throughout the whole customer journey and throughout your whole business ecosystem as well. It can be in the way that you are delivering the service, it can be in the way that you are pricing your services. So, for example, we see that the subscription business model is really a popular one. That's directly coming from innovation. It can also be in your technology stack. So, for example, using ClickUp and all of these different tools, using Go High Level, which we have a talk with Areli, who is a high level master, and we talked about that. So definitely go check that out after you watch this live. So it's really the meaningful application of new ideas. And as you can see, the difference here is meaningful application, meaning that what we are doing is we are thinking about the impact create, meaning the problem solving and the innovation, either a new way, a better way, and a faster way of solving that problem. So that means that we are looking at the customer needs, the needs of that person. And the issue with just copying AI in your business right now for solving problems, so I'll give an example. I see a lot of like bots, GPT, personalized GPTs to create content, for example, right? Because it's like, oh yeah, that then that person just has all of that strategy in there, etc. But who told you that that was the problem? Maybe the problem isn't the strategy. Maybe the problem is that they don't trust their own voice. So if that's the real problem, then is AI the right solution for it? That's the example that I want to give here. So it's about understanding what are the problems my customer has, and what are the outcomes that they need to create to solve that problem, and then what is the thing that I need to do to serve them in there. So if I give you this framework, I want you to think back, and also before you implement AI in your business, let's really focus on the foundational thinking of this. So, criteria that you can use is three things, right? So, value. Does the solution I'm thinking about introducing, is it going to improve my service or the experience of the customer, right? So, is that going to help at all? Number two is feasibility. So, do you actually have the resources and the skills to implement it? And the thing that's happening right now that I see is everyone, look, I use AI. I use AI all the time. I use Claude to write my content. I use ChatGPT for project planning. I also use it to check my strategy for me. I use it for different things. I use it for developing offers. I use it in my DMs. Like I use it for so many things, right? But I don't go and call myself an AI specialist, because I feel like for me to be able to do that, I need to develop my skills a bit further. By, for example, with prompt engineering, right? I'm like, okay, before I teach this to someone, I want to do prompt engineering. Feasibility is also about your own skill. And all of our focus right now should be on developing our AI literacy to really understand what is this system, what is this language processing that it does, and how can we actually best leverage it before we say, oh yeah, just just use AI, just do this, right? So that's the second thing, feasibility. And then the third thing is strategic fit. Does this align with your brand and your long term vision? So, whenever we are about to innovate and do something, we need to think about those three things: value that it's going to add for that person, feasibility for us to actually take on this project, and strategic fit, not just hype. Okay. Hype, the downside of hype is that focus on hype, you're going to end up investing a lot of time, a lot of money, resources into delivering things that no one really asked for, right? Whereas, what's happening with this? Yeah, you're going to focus on delivering things that no one really asked for, and it's going to be a waste of your time and a waste of your money. And so many people I see, this is where entrepreneurial skills are so important for you to develop as well, because it's not all about building the whole time. I have a master's degree in it. It's a process of actually discovery of new opportunities. Okay, AI is a new opportunity. It's a process of designing solutions around it, and it's a process of exploitation. What is happening right now is that people are just focused on exploitation. Everyone is focused on, okay, hype. If I mention AI, I'm going to get more visibility. I'm going to get more traction to me. So that means I'm going to get more customers. Whereas the focus should be, again, as I mentioned before, discovery. What is actually the problems that you are solving, right? So let's implement this together. So, for example, if I see that one of the problems that my ideal client has is that they are afraid of trying new things in their business because of fear of failure. Okay, so I know that, hey, as an entrepreneur, you need to be trying new things so that you can experiment, etc. What do they need to bridge that fear of failure? What do they need to make bolder decisions? It's not an AI tool that's telling them, hey, do this, right? It's a framework for testing new ideas, right? Which, yeah, I can give them the prompt in AI if they really want to use AI, or I can just give them the framework, right? Or I can teach them how to use the framework. That's number one. Number two is a way to take a calculated risk without putting all your money in it, right? So again, it's a way of thinking. And AI can give you this way of thinking, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to have to make that decision. Number three is they need data analytics, understanding of data analytics to be able to look at the results and evaluate, hey, was this test successful, yes or no? And what is the next step I have to take from there? So, going back to the original problem that I'm giving as an example here, would AI be the proper solution for that? Because if the solution for that would be a 30-minute video explanation or a 20-minute video explanation of how to reason about this specific problem, of how to test it, of what to iterate, then I don't need to spend 3 hours building a GPT and giving it prompts that they can use. I'm adding to noise. I'm not impact. Impact, innovation, all of that, it's about delivering results. Like all of us as experts, we need to focus on results and creating that level of impact into people's lives. So for you right now, if you are also wondering, should I jump on the AI trend? Should I implement AI in the way that I deliver my services? Should I build a custom GPT for my client? It depends. Is it going to give them the results faster? Is it going to have on the outcomes they are looking for? Right? And do you have to do this? And do you have the resources also to invest in this? Right? Going back to the criteria that I was sharing with you before, do you have the skills and is it a strategic fit? Because if, for example, your vision for your business is to make sure that women are, I'll give mine as an example, right? the vision for my business is to make sure that women have the entrepreneurial skills, the entrepreneurial mindset, the attitude to make decisions, grow their business, and also have the sales skills to close these high ticket offers, because ultimately these make quite a big impact in your business. Then is AI a big part of that? Yeah, yes, yes, it is, because it comes back to skill and being up to date with things that are happening. But does that mean that I need to implement it in everything that I'm going to teach them how to do? Oh, don't do it, just ask AI. I'm not contributing to helping them develop that knowledge themselves. I'm adding to hype, and I'm adding to noise, right? So that's how you have to think about it. What is actually the vision of your business? Where is your business going to be in 5 years from now? What is the reality in the world that you are contributing to, right? And if you are clear on that, then you can trace back to, should I be implementing AI in my solutions? So thoughtful innovation, on the other hand, is about understanding these five things. So as I mentioned, I worked in AI product development, and what we focused on is discovery and delivery. So understanding client needs, going deeper there, understanding, okay, on in terms of how much impact would solving this have on the end result that we are going for, and then based on how much effort it takes to develop this, what do we prioritize? And based on that, we're going to develop, test, and iterate. Same thing here. So you need to first have an understanding of the touch points of your ideal client. So for your ideal client, whatever it is that you're selling, I always like to take the high ticket offer, or the big transformation as the touch points, because out of there you can deconstruct it and like take solve one problem at a time, but really understanding that whole process, and like where are the friction points for them. So once you have an understanding of the friction points, then you go to the next step, which is to understanding, in order to resolve those friction points, going back to the levels in which you can innovate. Are we talking about innovating the service, or are we talking about the way that we package our offer? Are we talking about the solution innovation, so the tools, the features, the course material, or are we talking about an organizational innovation? So, for example, that means, okay, if you are not gathering feedback enough, then, or let's say you start to map out those friction points where you're like, I have no idea. That means you don't have enough data. That means the first innovation you need to focus on is implementing a system in which you're consistently getting feedback from people, or you're analyzing your DM conversations for that. So that's also innovation, right? So it's really important to not only map out the touch points, the friction, but also understanding the different levels in which you can be innovating right now, and brainstorming. So that's where creativity comes in, and why creativity is such an important skill to cultivate as an entrepreneur. It's because a lot of the times, whenever we are kind of like in our head about things, and we are looking at it, and we have our own interpretation, our own projection, it's so easy to think, okay, let's just go with this option. But you want to think of as many ideas as possible. If you haven't read that book from, I think it's called Ink, let me look it up. Ink book. Ink book. Yes, Creativity Inc. Yes, Creativity Incorporated. So it's called Creativity Incorporated, Overcoming the Unseen Forces That Stand in the Way of True Inspiration. What a great book. They talk about, Pixar adopts this framework of innovation in which they really focus on idea generation, so generating as much idea as possible, and then you validate it with your clients, right? So asking them, testing it very small, before you implement, because I think that's where a lot of people are at that. And it's also what I said when it comes to AI. People are seeing everyone do AI, and then everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna make this GPT trend, chat GPT thing, but no one asked you for that, right? So before you go make it, test in a way, find a way to test it, and then you are going to have a minimum viable product. So This is also something that I had to learn, and especially in the online space, because look, when you work in a company, it's not your resources, it's their resources. But now that I I need to be managing my resources and cash resources here, but I'm also talking about time, mental energy, because when you're a one person business, it's just completely different. So when it comes to that, it's like, okay, how can I create a version of this that's not the complete thing, that's not super perfect, but it does the minimum of what it needs to do so that those needs get met, and as time goes I will keep adding on top of it. It's the same way that I productize my offer. Like, I didn't build the whole thing. It was literally impossible to build the full thing. I had to start with the key, which was the sales presentation, because if they have that, then at least when they book the call, they can close without me having to be there. And then I added the DM part, and then I added the offer, and now I'm adding lead generation. So just taking an iterative approach instead of just having the big bang thing is really going to help when it comes to iterating, to building innovation in your business. And then the other part is understanding that every time you build something, you are literally taking on a project, and you're taking on a project because if you are serious about the impact you want it to have, you have to keep improving it. You have to keep taking feedback from people. You have to implement improvement needs, because remember, again, we are designing for people, we are designing solutions for them, not for ourselves. What we do is we capture the value after we have delivered it, right? So in that sense, it's super important for you to take this approach to thinking about, should you implement AI in your business, right? And really go deep with your thinking, develop that entrepreneurial skill of understanding what innovation really is about. And I'm really happy to be talking about this because, to be honest, for the longest time, I also constrained myself to what I was talking about in my business, because I was like, oh, people don't want to listen to this. But to be honest, this is what you need to listen to. When you look at the statistics of like why, women are the ones that are starting businesses. We're starting so many businesses. It's so easy to get into business, but staying in business is really where the challenge is for so many people. And it's not only because of the soft skill component, that's a different conversation, but it's also business acumen, like really understanding what it takes to succeed in any marketplace, not only the education, business online, high ticket coaching offers. It doesn't really matter. Like, the framework stays the same, right? Today. And my invitation for you to join the 60-minute strategy call. Okay, so in this call, what we are going to do, let me pull up the description here. Okay, so the objective of the call is to look at your current sales goals, the major challenges, and what you envision for the growth of your business. And based on that, I can give you insights on where it is that you need to be innovating in your business right now. Okay, so is it lead generation? Is it the client engagement? Is it closing? Is it the onboarding? Is it your IP? What is it? Is it your DM strategy? Right? So it's really about understanding, number one, the process for them to become a client. Like, do you need to innovate there or afterwards as well? Because, to be honest, to increase lifetime value, that's really a low hanging fruit there. So again, hype is about adopting AI, chatbots, and all of these things because it's trendy and not because they are impactful. And real innovation is about choosing to enhance a particular stage of the journey, in this case, the sales journey, based on client needs as well as strategic fit. Okay, so book your call. I'm going to leave the link in the comments here. And yeah, it's 100 USD for 60 minutes with my brain helping you to strategically map out the sales process improvement from the perspective of how you need to be innovating in your business. So yeah, see ya.